Hey y'all, what's up? Welcome back to the channel. It's another beautiful Sunday gun day here on the backyard range, and today let's talk some Czechnology with the CZ75BD. So let's go ahead and get right to it and open this guy up and take a look what we've got. So this is a 9mm pistol, 9mm Luger, 9x19. So we got our pistol, we've got two 16-round steel magazines, and I've already got one loaded up with some 124 grain NATO spec ammo. We've got our cleaning brush and rod, and we've got all our paperwork. And y'all don't pay attention to my dirty hands. This old spool has been out in the weather, and it's been raining for about the past 4 days, so everything is kind of soggy and nasty. So this is the first CZ I've ever handled, and disclaimer, I ran about 5 mags through it yesterday after the rain stopped, just to kind of give y'all my initial impressions. So this is a full-size service pistol. This is an all-steel frame, and you may be wondering about the name 75BD. So in 1975 is when they started manufacturing these in Czech Republic for export. I believe it was until the 80s or the 90s when they actually started carrying them themselves for their own military and police force. This is also one of the world's most popular handguns and one of the most copied designs. But the B stands for fire and pin block safety, and the D stands for decocker. So your 75B model would have a manual safety here instead of the decocking lever, because this is hammer fired, single action, double action trigger. And that's just kind of a personal preference thing, whatever you would like. This is, I don't really need the manual safety. I'd rather have the decocker. So that's what I got. But first impressions on it is the finish on this thing is beautiful. They call it this their black polycoat finish, and it is beautiful. It looks really, really nice. I'm hoping it wears in nice. I don't know. 5 mags doesn't tell the story, so we'll see how it looks in a year or two after I've really put some rounds through this thing. The other things I've noticed were the grooves on top. They machined some grooves in the top to kill glare. They've also machined some grooves in here if you're one of those guys that likes to really get up on the front of it and really get control of that thing. You've got that option for your finger to be there. And the slide, they've machined them at an angle this way, but they're also machined this way. They're not straight. So you've really got some traction on this thing, and that was one of the comments that I saw the most, and in video and in writing, was doing my research on this, was that, oh, it's kind of hard to rack the slide because there's not a lot of real estate, and that's where the Czechnology part comes in. So this is an inverted rail design. You can see the slide looks really tiny for a 9mm handgun. So when we rack this thing, most of the slide is actually down inside the rail. So you've lowered your center of mass down, and you've got everything inside the rail. So the weight of the gun being a steel frame versus everything now like Glock or my FN or whatever being polymer, you got a lot more weight. So this thing really controls that recoil well. And I think personally, with that slide being down lower and more in line with your hand, kind of contributes to be able to control it a little bit better. But this is a 4.6-inch cold hammer forged barrel, so this thing will last your lifetime, unless you're putting some kind of crazy high round count on your guns. And I hope you are. I want to put that kind of round count on mine where I need to replace the barrel. The grips are plastic, but the checkering on them is really aggressive and nice, and it's got a nice little bevel cut into it, so you can really get your thumb up on top of it and you've got control of this thing. And really feel good about shooting. And the other thing I've noticed is how smooth everything is. Not only is it, there's enough real estate there and enough traction there to operate this, but everything has just been super smooth. And let's see that decocking lever. Boom, nothing to it. Even the mags, the way the mags fit in there, this is a quality magazine. I don't know how much these cost from CZ, but I'm sure they're not cheap. But even how they click in, super smooth. All the buttons are smooth. So this is a right-handed man's gun. All the controls are on the left. It is not ambidextrous. We've got dovetail sights. And I saw, read, and I heard a few comments, oh, they're kind of a dingy, almost green color. Well, there's a reason for that. They are actually glow-in-the-dark sights. Now, unless you're holding a flashlight, because this does not have a rail or a way to mount a flashlight, I'm not sure what good glow-in-the-dark sights are going to do for you if you can't see what you're actually shooting. Maybe in low light they'll glow a little bit. I did go from outside to inside a dark room and I could see them glowing, but I haven't tried it out in, just before dark. So let's go ahead and put a mag in this thing. And in my experience so far, well, before we do that, let's look at the FN and we'll kind of show you the size difference. So compact frame, full size frame. Now the FN does have a similar size barrel because I got the tactical model. So this is 4.34 inches and this is 4.6 inches. So we've got a similar size barrel, but a much bigger frame. So 15 round mag is my usual. This one holds 16. And you can see the difference in the rail and the regular slide design versus inverted rail. But that's enough of me talking. Let's go ahead and put a mag in and shoot this thing. I'm going to fire double action first, and I'm going to try to stand close to you where you can see how little muzzle rise this thing actually has. So we got our old steel target out there. I've got it decocked, so we're going to pull double action. And after we shoot this mag, we'll kind of take a look at the trigger and I'll squeeze it right on you. Yep, I didn't load it. Might help if I put one in the chamber. Super smooth, no recoil, or very little recoil. And I need practice on my walking and shooting. But for the 6 mag that I put out of this thing feels really nice. So let's decock that and we'll ghost that trigger. So got a pretty good bit of play. You're on the wall for the double action. It's a consistent pull and a clean break. It doesn't feel like you're rolling over anything. It doesn't tighten up. It's really consistent. And we'll let the reset. The reset's kind of long, but you're right back on the wall. Clean break. So they say the double action pull is 9 pounds and the single action pull is 4.5 pounds. But that's all I've got on this today. I'm going to do some more shooting and work this thing through the paces and try to get some rounds on it and actually give a review, not just an initial impression. Y'all let me know what you think in the comments. What do you think of it? Do you like it, dislike it? What do you carry? You know, this isn't necessarily a carry gun for me. This is too big. I could carry this, but everybody would know I was carrying it if I tried to conceal carry. I'm not that big. But y'all let me know what you think in the comments. Hope y'all have a good day, and we'll see you here next time on the Backyard Range.